Alright. Guess you remember to have his mic on this time. Let's talk about the Berzerk assault carrier. I think I actually recently did a couple videos using the Berzerk recently. Maybe not videos, but I remember using it. I don't like it. It's cheap, it's flimsy, but it does have Vipers, which are great. So we'll be running Viper 2s on this one to give me a fighting chance. And the enemy, the Cylon fleet, will be using the Tenant, or Talon support. You know, it's probably the most common ship you'll see in Berzerk Galactica. I did this last time, and I'm pretty sure last time I tried something similar, I lost.
Launching fighters.
Anyway. What you need to do is kind of keep your distance with these ships until
Condition 1, I repeat,
you have
Condition 1, this is not a drill.
managed to
What's your
deal
info,
with
people?
the enemy fighters.
Understood. Yes, Commander.
This thing, you know,
Open racks and engage.
35 armor at
Fire
the back,
control
so
is
its
warmed
back is a
up
little
and
better.
preparing
40 armor at
solution.
the front, 30 armor all around, 70 hit points. It's got a little more beef to it compared to the Manticore, but not much more armor. Full speed, max movement range per turn is 25 units. So that's not too bad, but again,
Yes, sir.
its advantage is in Vipers. I can launch them,
All
send them
systems
up.
are nominal.
So yes, it's going to be running away. It's kind of the best way to use these assault carriers. They're kind of hit and run things. You send them out, they just deposit their fighters, they achieve, in this case, space superiority. Because the Cylons, the AI is programmed to prioritize capital ships over fighters, which is
Yes, Commander.
foolish, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. Can the Viper 2s take out the modern raiders? There's 4 left. Well, 8 left. Alright, so let's Crazy Ivan this up. Cool.
Escort clear zone intact.
Done.
Party
I
1
haven't
is
lost
safe.
any of my Vipers. Okay, so now let's go after that guy. And you, let's look at your full defensive posture. Greatest range is probably about 58 or 60 units maximum, which is pretty good. And we're going to turn her around nice and tight, and we're going to take out this other carrier. Now it's turret range, whew, broadsides only. But it can more or less fire on anything at the edge of its greatest range. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 62 units. And that makes sense if you consider just the type of vessel this is. It uses its its Vipers. Now I'm not going to be able to say Viper, whereas last time I wasn't able to say Raider. It's going to use its Vipers to be its eyes.
IFF confirms unit is hostile.
So, it sees the enemy, it just needs to shoot at the enemy. It has a huge range advantage on the Talon, I believe.
Fighter squadron is taking fire.
All the Talon has
Understood.
to do is keep it in its broadsides. Which is problematic because that's kind of where its weakest armor is. It's a ship that doesn't really synergize its weapon and armor placement too well. And now we're gonna do this dance. My Vipers haven't done too much to this thing yet, which is a little discouraging. Are you in my range? Okay, you will be next turn, so let's just try to go something like this. Let's raise you in elevation slightly to bring you at the same level. Full attack posture. So it's going to keep moving towards us. So as soon as it's there, yep. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We gotta keep our distance from this guy. Yeah, I don't want to be in your gun range. I want you to be in my gun range.
Sustained incoming. Vector 3-4.
The other thing to consider is the Talon, or is turret placement.
On it, Commander.
I can only fire from the sides, so attacking this aircraft, attacking this spacecraft from the front or back would probably be fatal.
Berzerk is taking damage.
Alright. That is fine. We'll go full defensive posture this time, because I can't attack you anyway when I make the turn.
Berzerk is taking damage.
Incoming.
Alright. Now... Alright, it might just barely be outside my range of fire, but we'll see. Okay, this is what I want.
Understood.
This is what I want. And its bottom is the thing that I've destroyed most, so let's drop our elevation a bit. And it should be coming into my gun range shortly. Yes. And it's my left. keeps
Yes,
playing
sir.
You keep pointing your nose at me. Why? You don't have guns on the front, I don't think. Okay, cool. Now when the boot was on the other foot, I couldn't pull this off. I think I almost destroyed it, but I think I got a little too greedy. And I
Set condition 1, I repeat, set condition
perhaps
1,
kept my
this is
distance
not a drill.
longer and let the
What's your
fighters
info,
do their
people?
work. And that's the real strength of this type of ship.
Open racks and engage. Fire control is warmed
not
up
really
and preparing
durable.
solutions.
But they're maneuverable enough, and they can defend themselves well enough. But they're not really meant for a fight. They're meant to support their fighters, which is really interesting. Because it's kind of almost like a Gorgon in that regard. It's a ship that more is for the support of the fighters, rather than the fighters being the support for the ship. Like this thing, you know, it spits out its Vipers and it runs. It stays out of greatest range, it doesn't have any nukes lobbed at it, that kind of thing. And if it does get in trouble, so long as the Vipers aren't too far away from it, they can get back soon enough to get it out
Escort
of
clear
trouble.
zone intact. Priority 1 is in safe hands.
As you can tell, like in a proper melee, it doesn't fare too well. It's not a brawler. And I've put some thought into this. There seems to be 3 types of ships in this game. You have a support ship, a ranged ship, and a melee ship. A support ship does some nifty things, but in a fair fight, they kind of need to be babysat. A ranged ship has a huge emphasis on missiles and longer range weapons, while your melee ship has a lot of emphasis on just, you know, bullets and armor. And I suppose you need all 3 in a balanced fleet, but it's not just about what they do, it's how you use it. The Berzerk is always going to be used like a support ship, and it should be treated as a support ship. So getting into a fight with the Berzerk is almost always going to be a bad idea. I mean, today we won, but it was getting a little close. You have to
Sustained
really,
incoming. Vector
you
3-4.
really gotta keep an eye on it, and they really need the support in this case of fighters to make things a little easier, or another capital ship to, you know, keep it out of trouble, or at least, if nothing else, be a more appealing target.
Incoming.
I like Vipers, so I will use these to fill out a fleet, but if I have other options, say, Valkyrie Pocket Battlestar, or maybe even the Orion Frigate. God, the Orion Frigate's fucking dope. I need to actually pay more attention to that one. I would probably have more of a preference to use that. Even the Defender. I mean, the Defender's got no armor. It doesn't really have any offensive weapons, but it's got flak, so it at least can discourage fighters from attacking one side, and it can defend itself from missiles. This thing just has, you know, 4 or 5 broadside cannons with a decent range, but really not enough armor. And I guess that's kind of the point of it. Its guns have range, so it shouldn't... Its design encourages you to not use it up close.